When the night descends and the moon hides behind the clouds, a chilling whisper echoes through the quiet town. Let's journey together to this small, remote town nestled deep in the heart of the Philippines. It's a place where the days are warm and inviting, but the nights are a different story altogether. As the sun sets, the town seems to hold its breath, bracing for the cloak of darkness to fall. The air grows thick and heavy, the shadows lengthening, stretching out like long skeletal fingers reaching for the last vestiges of daylight. This is when the town's peculiar atmosphere begins to settle in, an unsettling whisper that winds its way through the narrow streets and into the hearts of its inhabitants. In the quiet of the night, the townsfolk retreat to their homes, bolting doors and shuttering windows. Laughter and chatter give way to silence, broken only by the occasional hushed whisper or the distant howl of a lonely dog. The once bustling streets are now deserted, bathed in an eerie, almost otherworldly glow. And amidst this silence, there is a palpable fear that grips the inhabitants, a fear born of age-old beliefs and tales passed down through generations. It's a fear of the supernatural, of mysterious creatures that dwell in the shadows. The most feared of them all is the Aswang, a creature of Philippine folklore known to be both a vampire and a shapeshifter. In the light of day, the Aswang is said to be a regular townsfolk like you or me. But when night falls, they transform into fearsome beasts preying on the unsuspecting. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? To think that the person you shared a laugh with during the day could be the very creature you fear at night. In this town, when the night falls, the fear of the Aswang takes hold. It's a fear that's both terrifying and fascinating, an integral part of the town's identity. But remember, the night is long and full of whispers. And as we delve deeper, the whispers grow louder, echoing the unsettling tales of the Aswang. The Aswang, a creature of the night, a shapeshifter, a predator lurking in the shadows. In the depths of the Philippine folklore, there exists the chilling tale of the Aswang. A creature as old as the hills, its legend has been passed down through generations, whispered in hushed tones around the flickering warmth of a fire. The Aswang, a name that sends shivers down the spine, is no ordinary predator. It is a creature of darkness, a shapeshifter with an insatiable hunger. It has an uncanny ability to blend into the society during the day, taking on the guise of an ordinary human. But as the veil of night descends, it reveals its true form, a fearsome beast on a relentless hunt. Its predatory nature is one of its most terrifying aspects. The Aswang preys on the weak, the sick, and the vulnerable, those unable to defend themselves. It is said to have a particular fondness for the flesh of unborn children, a chilling detail that has made it a figure of terror for expectant mothers. Unlike your average predator, the Aswang does not hunt for survival but for pleasure. It revels in the fear it instills, the chaos it creates. It is a creature of malice, a beast with a heart as cold as the night it thrives in. Yet, what truly sets the Aswang apart is its ability to shapeshift. It can take on the forms of various animals, often a large black dog or a boar, allowing it to move undetected in the darkness. This ability to deceive, to hide in plain sight, makes it an even more formidable foe. The Aswang is a creature of legend, a monster whispered about in fearful tones. It is a tale that has been spun to keep children indoors at night, a story that has haunted the dreams of many. But for those who have encountered it, it is more than just a tale. It is a chilling reality, a nightmare come to life. The Aswang, a nightmare that haunts the town, a legend that lives in the darkness. The first encounter with the Aswang, a night that the town would never forget. A chilling tale. It began on an ordinary evening. The sun had just set, and the moon was the only source of light in the small town. It was a time of tranquility, of slumber. But this serenity was not to last. The town, once filled with the soft lullaby of crickets, was abruptly silenced. A cold wind swept through the narrow streets, rustling the leaves and making the wooden houses creak. The townsfolk, nestled in their homes, felt an eerie sense of foreboding, a prickling sensation that something was not quite right. At the far end of the town, a blood-curdling shriek pierced the quiet night. It was a sound so terrifying, so unearthly, that it sent shivers down the spine of every man, woman, and child. It was a scream of pure terror, the cry of a victim in the clutches of an unknown horror. News of the horrifying incident spread like wildfire. The once quiet town was now a hive of fear and panic. The townsfolk gathered, their faces etched with terror, their eyes wide with disbelief. They whispered among themselves, their voices trembling. The word Aswang fell from their lips, a word they dared not speak, a word that brought with it a chilling tale of horror and death. The victim, a young maiden, was found the next morning. Her lifeless body bore the unmistakable signs of an Aswang attack. Her death was not just a loss, but a stark reminder of the terror that now lurked in their midst. The encounter with the Aswang was not just a horrifying incident, but a turning point for the town. The fear of the Aswang was no longer just a bedtime story to keep the children in check. It was now a palpable fear, a haunting reality. The townsfolk lived in constant dread, their lives forever altered by the chilling encounter. Every rustle of the leaves, every creak of the wooden houses, every shadow in the moonlight was a reminder of the terror that lurked in the darkness. That fateful night, the Aswang was no longer a legend, but a terrifying reality. In a town gripped by fear, every sound, every shadow could be the Aswang. Imagine living in a world where the wind's whisper sends shivers down your spine, where the rustling of leaves is a signal to bolt your doors, where the shadows are not just absences of light, but potential hiding places for a creature straight from your darkest nightmares. This is the reality for the inhabitants of this town, a life dominated by the dread of the Aswang. In this town, fear is not just an emotion, it's a way of life. Every step taken, every decision made, is colored by the terror of the Aswang. They live by a set of rules and rituals, each one a strategy to evade the monstrous creature. At dusk, the town transforms. Homes are sealed with salt and garlic, said to repel the Aswang. A curfew is imposed, streets are deserted, and silence reigns. Within their homes, families huddle together, seeking comfort in numbers. Prayers are whispered, ancient chants that are believed to ward off the creature. The only sounds that punctuate the stillness of the night are the occasional barking of dogs, their heightened senses alert to the presence of the Aswang. In the face of such fear, resilience emerges. The townsfolk find strength in unity, in shared experiences and collective courage. They learn to adapt, creating coping mechanisms to deal with the constant terror. Humor becomes a shield, laughter a weapon to combat the darkness. Children are told stories of the Aswang, not to frighten but to educate. Knowledge, they believe, is their best defense. They grow up aware, yet undeterred, their fear tempered by understanding. Amidst the terror, life goes on. Crops are tended, meals are cooked, children are schooled. Each day is a battle won, each night survived a victory. The Aswang may rule their nights, but it does not own their lives. In the shadow of the Aswang, the town lives, each day a testament to their resilience. The Aswang story is not just a tale of horror, but a story of a town's resilience. This is a narrative that has been woven through generations, a tale that echoes in the silence of the night and sends chills down the spines of those who dare to listen. Let's take a step back and immerse ourselves in the story once more. The legend of the Aswang, a creature of the night, shrouded in mystery, an entity that feeds on fear and thrives in the shadows. Its eerie whispers and unsettling presence have been a part of the town's folklore for as long as anyone can remember. Then came the first encounter. The quiet town was shaken to its core as the tales they had heard, the stories they had dismissed as mere folklore, suddenly became terrifyingly real. The Aswang was no longer a myth. It was a tangible threat, a source of dread that cast a long, dark shadow over their lives. But the tale doesn't end with fear. No, it transcends it. Living in fear, the town found a strength they didn't know they possessed. They rallied together, their unity and determination forming an unbreakable shield against the Aswang. Their fear, once a weapon wielded by the creature, became their greatest ally, fueling their resilience and driving them to stand defiantly against their nocturnal adversary. This story, this tale of the Aswang, is more than just a horror story. It is an exploration of fear, of belief, and most importantly, of resilience. It tells us that fear can either cripple us or compel us to rise. It shows us that belief, whether in the supernatural or in our own strength, has the power to shape our reality. And it reminds us that resilience, that indomitable spirit that refuses to be broken, is the most powerful weapon we possess. In the face of the Aswang, the town stands unbroken, their fear transformed into strength.